Hey everyone, good morning. This is the market update for July the 11th, 2025. And wanted to start off here looking at XRP. That's one of our main tokens that we trade and invest in. I've been an XRP investor for the last 8 years, and I also trade it. And so I wanted to talk about a couple of concepts this morning. First of all, I wanted to talk about the difference between long-term holding, mid-term swing trading, and short-term day trading. And so for me, when I first started out with XRP, let me clean up the chart here just a little bit. I was buying XRP back in early 2017, late 2017 as well, of course. And back then, I was just primarily buying what they call, spot XRP. Basically, I was just going to Coinbase or Uphold, and I was buying XRP to hold and hoping that, at some point XRP would go higher than these prices, say at 20 cents. Then after the major run up where I made, I think, $25,000 in about 20-ish days. Once it sold off, I was buying down in here. I was buying here. I was buying here. My spot XRP bag is dollar cost averaged at around 25 cents per coin. I was just buying for years, in these ranges. So there's spot trading, and then there is midterm swing trading, where you're trying to trade in the major moves of a cycle. So, I was making money here in these swing trades. And then, probably around 2021 is where I learned about leveraged short-term trading, which is more like, day trading where you're trying to make profit every week. Um, and yeah, I kind of developed, it was back in 2021 that I developed a three bag trading strategy. And so basically, my spot XRP that I bought way back here in 2017, 2018, that has, been something that I've held for the last 7 or 8 years. Really looking for the day when XRP gets up into the double digit, mid double digit territory, $20, $30. Um, and so what I would do is then I would swing trade. And when I swing traded, I would take the profits from my swing trading. And swing trading is where you're still trading just spot XRP, but you're trading and you're trying to make USD on these midterm moves. And so what I would do is I would make that profit, take the profit in USD, and then try to buy back in on these cycle lows. And what that would do is ultimately it would increase my spot XRP bag. Well, then over the last few years, I've gotten more into leveraged trading on daily time cycles and lower. And again, the whole point of that is to make profit. And then with that bag, what I've done is I take profit, but a certain amount of that I put straight back into my bank account. And then with some, I reserve it to then yet again buy more spot XRP, or maybe I want to go and try to invest in another project, whether that's Ethereum, Cardano, Stellar, Supra is one of the new tokens that I've been looking at. Um, so yeah, there's several things you can do. So I say all that to say that with XRP, what we've done over the last few days has just been pretty incredible. We are in a true breakout. Oh, we have alarms going off all over the place here. Let me turn that off. Yeah, let me show you how to do that real quick. Within TradingView, one of the great features is you're able to set price alarms. So, for example, we just had an alarm go off on Stellar XLM. And so that tells me that we've just crossed over 33 cents there. And the way that you set an alarm is you just put a line on your chart. So let's say we wanted to be alerted for the next time when Stellar's price goes over 37 cents, you would just drop a line on your chart. And then you come up here to this little instrument panel. You'd click on the clock, which means to add an alert. And it might not do it today. Add alert on horizontal line. Sometimes this site gets a little wonky because of everybody that's using it, so I might need to restart that. But anyway, in theory, you should be able to set a line, and there's several different ways you can set, or excuse me, set an alarm. And there's several different ways you can do that. So just wanted to show you that. It's a great tool. So back to XRP and the breakout that we're seeing here. Um, my initial thought on XRP was that we were going to stop probably in the mid 250s, stay around 255, and we would pull back to about 240 because back in November, that's kind of what we did here. But if you're noticing, this is a much stronger move than in November. Part of the reason for that is because Bitcoin is going into new all-time highs. But also, what's happening is there's still a lot of room on the XRP BTC pair to move up until we find some natural resistance. If you turn on the visible range profile, you can see that we still have probably another 100 to 150 satoshis to get up to where we're going to most likely find some pullback and resistance, which means we might run all the way to 289 or $3 on XRP before we find a cooling off zone where we might come back and retest the breakout here at 266. So what I'm currently seeing in the charts here as we start this day for XRP is, of course, very, very strong price action volume on the last three candles. These three green candles here are what we commonly refer to as three white soldiers or three rising methods. Well, actually, three rising methods is something different, but this is three white soldiers pattern. Um, Strong green candles with very little wicks on each of them. Strong volume down here that aligns. And again, looking at Bitcoin, the rest of the market volume aligns. So this isn't likely a fake out. It's likely a genuine move. Look at Ethereum as well. Look at the volume. So everything lines up that these are legit moves that we're doing. And of course, the biggest sign that this is a new bullish move on the macro is that we've broken this internal structure here at 266. So now the likelihood of this rolling over and dying and going lower becomes a lot less probable. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about the difference between possibilities and probabilities. So your confidence level now grows much higher in being able to, for example, buy the dip when it occurs. And so what's going to most likely happen is we'll come up here to 289 or $3. I do believe we'll see some short-term take profits from day traders here, and we will most likely put in a wave four to retest 266, or maybe we retest 270. Um, won't know that until we get more data to come in. As a trader, you're always just looking at the data in front of you. You're looking at the data from the past, and you're trying to make the best decision about the trade. So the bad news is I'm not fully in on my trade yet because I was hoping to get a pullback here at 255 to be able to buy more. I mean, of course, my spot bag XRP has been there for 8 years, but I'm talking about my leveraged day trading. I was hoping for a pullback. Actually, yes, that's bad news, but it's also great news because, listen, I'm up in profit. I'm not going to complain. Um, but I do know that there will be at least one more opportunity to buy. And let's face it, the more violent moves that we go to the upside, the likelihood of having a violent back check, a violent retest, a violent slight correction, not on the long term, but just intraday, is most likely. So, typical in a bull market, you're going to get moves between 5 and 15% corrections on the intraday. So let's say, for example, we come back up here to 289 and we find resistance there, then you could probably expect a retest of 266, about an 8.5% correction. If we come up to $3, then most likely we're going to get a correction back to 270. That would make sense. That's a 10% correction on the intraday. So, yeah, I mean, we are looking great. I don't think we're going to stop here based on the fact that the BTC pair really still has a lot of room to move on the visible volume range profile. So the point of control for that over the last 7 months is up here around 2,450 Satoshis. So that's a quick view of XRP. I did want to mention Supra. It's something that I've gotten interested in over the last few days. It's a coin in the AutoFi uh, space, the auto DeFi space. So yeah, I've got a trade in here, and I'm looking for a take profit on that around 0.019 cents. Um, we'll obviously have some volume to get through here in the 1 cent range, but I think close to 2 cents is where I'd be happy with taking profit on that leveraged trade with Supra. So, yeah, just a quick update on where we're at here on a Friday. I do believe we'll have at least 1 day or 2 days of cooling off at some point just to reload. But the crazy thing right now is we're just continuing to go straight up. So, you know, don't don't get FOMO, especially if you're trading leverage. Now, I would say if you're trading spot, buying spot XRP is never a, bad idea, especially since we're still below the old all-time high. But just wait for the pullbacks. The market has a way of coming back to you. Even in the most bullish of situations, at least one time. I'm not going to get into Elliott wave theory today, but we should see an Elliott wave 4 pullback at some point. We've had the initial one, two, three, four, five. So that was your initial one wave with a wave two correction. Then what was interesting is you had kind of this setup for this parabolic wave three. You had a 1-2-1-2 combo, and then you've had this beautiful wave three extension. And this wave three extension does have the likelihood of going straight to $3. Here's why that is possible. If you measure the wave one move, let me turn off this volume range, visible volume range. If you measure that wave one that we had back here at the end of June, and the wave two correction, and then you measure that, you start to get an idea of where price likes to hit these fib levels. On this, because it's such a bullish condition, and because this is most likely the wave three of three for XRP, this wave three could go straight to the 4236 extension here at $3, 301. We could find resistance here as well at 286 to 289. Um, but yeah, most likely we're going to continue just because we do have room to move on the XRP BTC pair. We'll see, how that goes here. But very bullish conditions, and we're just looking for that intraday pullback. I'm looking for it so I can get finally fully loaded. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. That's your morning update. We're in a very, very bullish condition. If you do have other coins you want me to take a look at, someone did text me this morning asking, what are some other coins that I should be looking at? Here's some that I'm looking at. I'm looking, of course, I told you Supra. I think that's going to go eventually to 0.019 cents, around 2 cents. I'm looking at DAG. DAG hasn't moved yet. So if you want a coin that's not done anything compared to what XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Supra, others have already done, DAG is a great option. Let's see here. What were some others that I noticed hadn't moved yet? Has Cardano moved? Cardano has moved as well, but that's also, I think, still in a good zone. That's on the daily. HBAR, that's also moved quite a bit. So those are going to be a little bit harder to get in on. Fartcoin is one that is, I know that was kind of a popular token here. That's probably a good meme coin play. Ondo Finance or Ondo. Again, that's still under the daily 200 resistance moving average, so that would be a good place to load. Wormhole could rip to 20 cents. It's currently at about 8 cents. So that one, as you can see, I have an alarm on that for around 8 cents. I will most likely buy that breakout. The unfortunate thing about Wormhole is that's not a leveraged token on like MEXC or other exchanges. So at least I can find. I haven't looked too deep into it, but it's not on MEXC, and that's where I trade. Um, So yeah, these are some tokens to, keep in view. A Fetch, Fetch AI would be another one. They're in the AI space, so Fetch hasn't moved much. So those are some coins that you could, potentially throw some capital at here, as we're really getting into a season where most likely everything is going to move. I mean, the signals are getting pretty clear on that. So yeah, we're just in an observe moment here. We're on the daily with XRP, watching where the daily stalls out. It looks like we're going to get that 4236 extension all the way to $3, and then we'll come back and check support most likely around 270. If we don't stop at three, well, it's a whole new world. um, maybe this is a super mega wave three that goes all the way to the 8236. We have seen that in the past. I could go back and show you past wave threes that did that with XRP, but I'm gonna guess $3 is probably where we're gonna find some liquidity, as you can see back here when XRP was falsely announced as being a part of the U.S. Strategic Stockpile Reserve. It pumped massively and kind of hit that $3 zone. So I think we'll probably have some day traders that got trapped on that move. They'll want to sell around three. So we'll most likely find some intraday resistance there and come back and check 270. But anyway, I hope this update has helped you. Of course, over the next several weeks, we'll be getting into more how to trade. But I hope that some of these things that I'm sharing with you are giving to you insights into the market that will help you make the best strategic decision. Of course, at the end of the day, no decisions are ever 100% perfect. We're always going to make mistakes in trading. Here's the key. You want to minimize your losses and you want to maximize your gains. And so, obviously, in this situation is a moment where we want to maximize our gain as we're trading. And so, the biggest thing you can do, just take this advice: don't try to overtrade during these moves. If you have a great position entry down here in the 220s or even the low 230s, do not try to catch, even though it might be thousands of dollars for you right now. Some of you guys are trading 20, 25, 50x leverage on XRP. I have seen your photos. Um, what you don't want to do is try to trade the intraday. I would only use the intraday to add more to your position if and when we get the pullback. So, don't try to say, oh, Sugar said it was going to go to three. And so I'm going to take profit at three because I'm pretty sure he said it would go back to 270. I think it's likely that it's going to do that, but notice the word likely. And so, of course, none of this is financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You're an adult. You have to make your own decisions. I'm just sharing with you what I've seen the markets do over 8 years, and I hope that it's helpful for you. And listen, we have to do this to break free from the matrix, to break free from tyranny. And so this is our way to do that. And so let's trade our way to freedom. Certainly here to help you do that. But at the same time, I hope you understand I'm giving to you statistical likelihoods. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at. I hope you have a great day. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this with others. I'll be doing these daily updates here from really here on out. I'm not sure how long I'll do it, but if you value the content and you value that daily connection, and if this is helping you grow in the realm of trading, then I'm certainly happy to provide that. So, hope everyone is doing well, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.